Ready?
I'm ready for it. Yeah.
All right, I got a new toy to show off here. As anybody who's watched any of my videos over the last couple of years knows, that I purchased a hobby stock 2 years ago, January of 2021, for the purpose of hobby stock racing in the Central Valley of California. And the first one was a red number 14. It had a really shitty cage, so I bought another one. They had a much better cage, but needed a lot of work to get going. And so over the last couple of years, I've been kind of slowly working on that car, that hobby stock. It was a 77 Camaro that had been run back in the 90s and when NASCAR still sanctioned dirt track racing. But anyways, it took me about 2 years, never really finished it because my work schedule and everything. Anyways, 100 excuses, just slowly kind of hacked at it. But last couple months, I decided I wanted a new motor for that hobby stock. And the hobby stock had a 305 little mouse motor, was going to be very underpowered on the track. Not that it matters when you're starting out, but I wanted to get a 350 for it. Was kind of looking for a crate motor because I'm not an engine guy. And crate motors I saw on Facebook Marketplace were going for about $4,500. And then somebody sent me this car, and I'll show you a picture of it put together. But this is a 2008 GRT modified. It was ran as a full mod at one time, but it was converted to sport mod at some point. And the guy that was running this had originally listed it for $10,000, had marked it down for to $7,000, and then I offered $6,000 for it. Like I said, these motors, these 602 crates, I'll take the hood off so we can see it. We're going for about $4,500 to $5,000. So I figured, well, hell, I'll get a whole damn race car. This thing is, for the most part, ready to go. Huh? And runs just fine. I've got the body panels off. I've been doing a little bit of work to it, kind of improving some stuff and whatever for getting it ready for my next race. So I'll show you around. Let me take the hood off real quick and I'll show you the motor. The motivation for buying this wasn't only the 602 crate. After working on that Camaro for 2 years, Merced Speedway actually announced a few months back at the beginning of this year that as of 2024/2025, they were transitioning from track rules for the hobby stocks to IMCA hobby stocks. And in the IMCA hobby stock rules, they don't allow Camaros or Firebirds. They allow leaf spring cars and they allow unibody cars, but I think they only allow Novas. And I looked around for a Nova cage, Nova chassis, I should say, and I found one down in Bakersfield. But when I found this that had the 602 crate in it and it was ready to go, I decided to get this to try it out. So yeah, it was, even though I can drive about an hour and a half to Antioch, and Antioch said that there was, their hobby stocks were going to be sticking around until the last Camaro was ran and died. Merced Speedway told me the same thing when I bought the Camaro. I'd actually sent them a message on Facebook asking about the Camaro because somebody had told me that Camaros might be going away in a couple of years. I kind of wish at that time, I wish I had listened to that advice or warning or whatever you might want to call it. But Merced Speedway had said, you know, we don't have any plans of changing the rules for hobby stocks. And then, you know, less than 2 years later, they changed the rules for the hobby stock. So, you know, that was kind of a motivating factor to look for another chassis. And I figured SportMod was as good as any. So anyways, I made a couple changes already. The water outlet here, I took it out. I put one that had a fitting, or a spot for a fitting here for my water temp warning light, because let me take you over here and show you around a little bit. When I got it, it didn't have warning lights. Can you see in here? Let me get some light. Oh no, that's not plugged in. Let me see. Ow, friggin' right in my eyeballs. It did not have a battery cutoff switch or disconnect switch, so I added that. And I'll show you some before and after pictures here. And it had a couple of old switches here that I replaced with some newer switches I actually took off the hobby stock. So this is what the cockpit looked like before. It didn't have a battery shutoff switch. That's my granddaughter. Didn't have a battery shutoff switch. The ignition switch basically acted as a battery shutoff, and then the starter button had a protector thing over it, which isn't a big deal, but I wanted to create a more traditional thing. Plus, it's safer with the battery shutoff switch. All right, so I installed a battery disconnect switch. I put a new ignition switch and the starter button in it. I made new battery cables to go from the battery to the battery shutoff switch, and then from there to the solenoid. So this is the first time. I'm going to be testing this system up. I also put warning lights, and I wired them up in the back, really hoping I did everything correctly. Put the sensors in. Now I'm not going to be able to run it right now. I want to wait until I can get the car outside the garage. But for now, I just want to see if it connects, if lights come on. If lights come on, I think I did it correctly. Now first, okay, nothing came on, and it's not supposed to because of the battery shut off. So here we go. That's on. I put a new seat in it because it had a Butler built. That was a good seat, but I didn't like the way it was mounted. So I mounted this seat. This is a Kirky 38 series seat. One of the panels inside the cockpit is off, or it's out. I'm sorry. Sorry, the GoPro screen went black, so I was trying to see what the hell I was looking at. Anyways, I just replaced the ball valve and ran a new fuel hose because the old one was crispy, and the ball valve, the handle and the threads that hold the handle on, were stripped out. But anyways, yeah, I don't want to get too much detail here. It's not one of those type of videos. That's the panel for inside the cockpit. But I think it's got a 32-gallon fuel cell. I'm thinking about switching that out. Took the decals off of it. Put a couple of my own, but I'm gonna leave it empty until maybe I get some sponsors or something. But yeah, this is just a quick video to show you what's going on with it. I really like it. I didn't put a full containment seat in it. I put the 38 series because you know, it was tough for me to fit through the window opening. That's the only downside. I'm a bit of a bigger guy, and trying to fit through this window opening with a full containment seat was just not happening. So yeah, just wanted to give you an update of what's going on. hopefully here, I got to lose a couple pounds so I can fit my race suit. Yes, I know. Like I said, I'm a little bit of a bigger guy, but once I take a couple pounds off, I fit the race suit, I'm going to take this thing to the track and see what I can do. There's some other stuff I want to do with this thing too. For instance, this piece here is real thin. And at some point, it got punched through. So I might replace this with something a little thicker. Look at that, that's thin. This looks like, I don't even think it's 18 gauge. Might be 18, it's probably 20 gauge steel. I'll put something a bit thicker there. IMCA rules suggest a 1/8 inch plate, so I might just go that route. But yeah. Just wanted to, for anybody who's subscribed to the channel for the hobby stock, I'm still working on the hobby stock. I haven't touched it in a couple weeks. I had to move it to the backyard. It was in the driveway. Neighbor complained, so I moved it to the back. But once I get that set up, I'm going to go back to working on it. Show you around my shop a little bit too. Been working on the shop or the garage to, I need a little work on the walls and such, but been working on the garage to make it nice and comfortable and make, you know, a comfortable place to work. Anyhow, yeah, so this is my new to me 2008 GRT Sport Mod that I'll hopefully be running for the first time in a race here in the next couple months, I'm hoping. Let me know in the comments if you want to see any videos on me working on this car, or if anyone's interested in watching any more videos at all. I don't post that often anymore, like I said, with my work schedule and everything else going on. It's really hard to make videos, but I got about 400 subscribers, give or take, and I figured, you know, for those that subscribed, you guys deserved an update video and to see what's going on. Oh, before I sign off, I really liked the colors. I really like the colors of this the Sport Mod. The red and the black. The red and the black together really reminds me of that color scheme. And it caught my eye from the beginning. Almost tripped on a laundry basket. Anyhow, all right, that's it. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.